Hey guys, hope we're all doing well today. So, this weekend, this is nuts. The coronavirus is like in full fledged right now. The past couple days we've been trying to come to grips with it here in Wisconsin, and we could be at the tipping point now where this weekend we could go into a state lockdown. That's not 100% confirmed. That's going off of what people have heard from state workers. I don't know what to think about it, because if that's the case and the company that I work for goes down and work is really selective, I have to use my vacation days for work. And if I don't have my vacation days, I don't get paid. Like a lot of other people out there who are losing their jobs and their homes because of this already, with unemployment soaring through the roof. And there's a lot of underlying questions with this that aren't really getting answered. But then on top of that, I could really only get maybe 1.5 more checks once this whole thing goes down, if it goes down that way and we take the more drastic approach with it. Hopefully we don't have to do that. So it's Monday, and I just looked at the calendar, and I'm shocked at how fast this month went by. Like next week already is April. That's insane. It felt like March literally just started. Today definitely could have gone a lot better. Ended up getting in a bit of a beef with someone at work, and that can really, when it's a Monday and that happens, that can derail your whole week. So I'm hoping I don't have to deal with that. So it's much later in the day now. I was actually going to start this small little clip off with like something like day 20 something of the quarantine. I don't know if I'm gonna make it much longer, but like every time I did, it came out sounding like something from the Blair Witch Project. One thing that I actually got thinking about today was homeschooling. I read a really cool article that I feel is a really good take on new age teaching. It was an article, and I'm gonna have to find it and I'll link it down in the description box below, but basically it pointed out if you're having problem with coming up with stuff to teach your kids during this quarantine process, play board games. That is a beautiful thing to do. The whole issue with just sitting down and watching TV is that your mind, unless it's a very big thinking movie or show, like you actually sit down and you're constantly thinking, for a very large majority of the time when you're watching TV, your brain shuts down. It's not really the most stimulating to your brain. It doesn't really help you. Whereas a video game or a tabletop game or a board game, they all help you think. Or they all, like D&D for example. D&D is a huge storytelling game. There's your improv. Or your story setting type stuff, coming up with something on the fly like that, or a game like Minecraft or Stardew Valley. Very relaxing games, but they can kind of help you with, like Minecraft definitely helps you with programming, very early stages of programming, but that's definitely a new take on it where I think a lot of people would really benefit from, especially a lot of kids that don't really have the best focus in school. Throw a board game at them. Not physically, that would hurt like heck, but actually like sit down and play like Ticket to Ride or Seven Wonders or Kingdom Builder, Dead of Winter. Play a game with them. Another one, for example, would be like a card game like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering. When I was a little kid, I didn't really know much about the games, but now that I do and I see the skill it takes to actually play some of those games competitively, it's really hard for a lot of them, especially if you don't know what the heck you're doing like me. Those kind of skills I think could be beneficial for kids and maybe take them down the road into like a job or a career. That also did get me thinking about things that I enjoyed in school, like projects, and I was trying to name like a top 5 list. I couldn't really do it. There were only like 2 or 3. One, all of art class, all of science class, all of gym class. Those were my 3 favorite classes. I absolutely love those classes. Except for running the mile, screw that. I was not made to run a mile, maybe 5 feet. We did one project in geography where we actually had to pick a destination and we had to plan a week trip in that destination. And the whole class made the trip in Europe. We're gonna all pick one destination and each of you is gonna write a different itinerary and your own plan, I guess, for this trip. So actually doing the research and figuring out how I wanna go, like you actually had to figure out distances. Well, I wanna go here and then I wanna go here. Well, they're too far apart to do that in one day, so you had to pick what days, what times you wanted to do certain things. It was really fun. And looking back, I'm like, holy cow, like, teachers should do that all the time. That's fantastic. That's a great way of planning. And management, money is another big part of that, because I think we had a budget that we had to stick within. Looking back, that was probably one of my favorite projects to ever do in high school. I had a blast with that. I think I did it my sophomore year. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. That's gonna be the question of the day. In the comment section below, write down what was your favorite project in school. If you're still in school, it shouldn't take you that long to remember one. If you're out of school like me, it might take you a little longer. All right, so it's the weekend now, and I want to start my main project of wood burning for the first time, or really getting into it. So I got not really the best setup right now. It's not like my permanent setup. Got my window open, got a little bit of space on the side of the printer, big enough for me to work in. And since it's right next to the window, I kind of figured that was the best spot to do it in, just because there's plenty of air circulation and all the smoke will go outside. There's not much smoke when you're doing this. It's just that I don't want to take a chance with the smoke detectors. So I'm just going to do it right there. I'm going to do a simple design, I think, for the first one. And I don't have any graphite paper, since I really don't want to go out and to the stores right now and pick some up. So the option that I'm going to go with is just printing out a design and shading the back of it, and then placing that shaded side down on the wood, which I have a piece right here, a sample piece of wood to work with. And then that's a kind of candle that Yankee should make a candle out of, is wood. Then I'm going to trace that outline, and you have to do it hard enough so that the graphite grabs onto the wood, especially with one that isn't as soft, because this one's a little hard. I can't remember which type I picked up. I want to say that's oak. But once it's traced on there, then I'll go through with the burning process and start doing that. So I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to actually be able to show with the setup that I have, but I'll try to show you as much as possible. I don't want to show you the final piece though until after I'm done. It'll be a little bit of a surprise. So unfortunately I couldn't actually film it because I didn't have any place to put my camera. Like I said, it wasn't the best setup, but I did finish it. Look at that. That's actually not bad for a first time. I mean, there's obviously stuff that I got to work on, like just looking at it closer, doing curves like by his feet. That stuff I need to work on. You can see some of the lines are a little darker, some of them are a little lighter. That's because of the pressure that I was putting on the pin at a certain point. So I need to get better with my consistency with my lines. And then doing more detailed stuff like his eyes. I set down the tip a little too long and too much of it. So, I mean, it's a long edge. So, like, his eye goes a little too far. But other than that, like, far enough away, it looks perfectly fine. But yeah, this wasn't a bad first try. The only bad thing is that this is my only piece of wood. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I may need to take a supply run. Alright, so this is weird. If you look at the shades by my window, it looks like it's light outside. Like, there's like a glow outside. So if we open them, that was just really weird. There's like a haze, like a glowing haze outside. It's really bizarre. But yeah, now that I tried out wood burning for the first time, I had a lot of fun with it. I got to learn the different tips and what each one does. I gotta have more consistency with my lines, practice, that'll all get worked out. The only downside is that I don't have a good setup for this. And I could use the other half of my desk, but I like being near a window, kind of for ventilation. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do moving forward. All right, oh, bright and early. Well, not really bright and early, it's like 9 o'clock. Slept in a little bit today, felt really good to sleep in. I also have off this coming Thursday and Friday, taking a little bit of an extended break. I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you guys yet or not, but Wisconsin is in a sort of a lockdown. Not really. I mean, places are shutting down, not essential businesses are being forced to shut down, but they're playing a little loosey-goosey with what's considered an essential business. But seeing that my company is considered an essential business, we're not in any fear of closing down for the foreseeable future. And I wanted to take a couple days off since the past month has been kind of stressful with work. So I wanted to take off some time. I'm doing a little bit of laundry today, but I'm already planning on what I want to do for wood burning projects. I have a lot of wood burning I want to do now. I want to work on getting a proper setup for that, a place where I can actually do it, but also have a camera set up so you guys can see me actually doing it. I really feel bad about not being able to show you the Winnie the Pooh thing. It was actually really fun. This is actually a little off topic, but I actually learned something else this past weekend besides woodcrafting, and that was playing Minesweeper. Okay, so I always played Minesweeper growing up, just randomly clicking, just not really having any rhyme or reason to it. Never really took the time to learn it. I took the time to learn it this weekend, and I've been playing a lot of Minesweeper. Like, it's actually a really fun game when you actually learn how to play it. So each of the numbers that pop up, they're telling you how many bombs they're touching. So if you have a 1 or a 2 or a 3, it's telling you that it's touching 1 bomb or 2 bombs or 3 bombs. So that's when you switch over from hitting the detonate button to putting a flag down. So if you know this one's only touching 1, okay, well, there's no other one around it, that one has to be a bomb. So put a flag on it and then move on from there. So it's actually really fun. I'll show a picture right here so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but it's actually a really fun game once you learn how to properly play it. But apart from cleaning and getting some laundry done, not a whole lot going on, just preparing for the work week, even though it's short. Yes! But I want to thank you guys for stopping out. I will see you all in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment, more the merrier. Share the video. I will see you all next time. Take care and peace out.